Hey, what is up? You know what? I wish they would invent these things that would go over your eyes with lenses that would make it so it's not quite so freaking bright outside. I just literally looked at the sun. Not a good idea, people. But today's Facebook Live is who are you done being? Who are you done being? Who are you done being, and what does that actually mean? I don't know. Let's see. I can tell you, hey, Jordan's here. Let's see if we can bring her on. Let's see if it gives me the option, or Jordan, send me an invite or a request. But I think this is an important question, important topic. So I'm doing the warrior training again today, and this question was posed this morning, and I think it is super important in regards to what no longer serves you. What role no longer serves who you are or who you want to be? And if Jordan, if you can hear me, it's not giving me the option to pull you up, so send me an invite and let's see if we can get you on here. But ultimately, I am here at the park and I am earthing. Let me see if I can. If you guys saw my post earlier today, it was basically talking about how there is a potential tornado coming into northern Colorado, and that could be super dangerous. So be weather aware. And it doesn't look like Jordan is going to be able to hop on, which I guess is fine for now, but I'll just kind of speak to what I got out of the morning session of this training. Okay, here she is. It was really important, and it just allowed us to talk about what no longer serves us as the role that we are playing in our lives. And hey, Jordan,
Hey,
how's it going?
good. That was weird. I was on my desktop, but it wouldn't let me send an invite through that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now we know. But so
Oh,
the topic for today is who are you done being? What role are you no longer going to play in your life? If it's in relationships, if it's in your body, your connection with God, or your business. And so I'll let you answer, or at least just enter that conversation with that question, and then I will continue on. It's super bright out here, and I forgot my sunglasses. I walked to the park barefooted as I am earthing, and it's about a half a mile. So, yeah,
wow.
right. So go ahead. Who are you done being, and in what domain or what area of your life would you say that is coming to play in?
Well, it's very fitting for like something that just happened today. I mean, as a mother, I have a 16-year-old and, he's just in those teenage years and, he's just being disrespectful and just kind of, you
Mm-hmm.
know, not wanting to do things and lying and everything like that. And I've given him all these chances because, like it hurts us to watch our kids do these things. And it's like, okay, they're going to get better. Let's
Right.
just keep doing this. And I mean, I can't do that anymore because it's not helping him. So like I took, his phone, his car away, which I've threatened like a million times. And I did it today because
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. I can't enable him anymore. I have to call him
Right.
in to being a young man as his mom. And it's the perfect scenario of like tough love. I mean, it's eating me up inside. I just feel horrible, you know,
Right.
um, but it's, yeah, I have to do it, because what kind of principle or integrity do I have if I keep threatening and I don't do anything about it? I mean, what's going to make him
Right.
change?
Right.
So I have to, yeah. So that is just one thing, yeah. But today that I dealt with, so
Yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Um, and so in that relation, and kind of to just put a bow on that, so who are you no longer going to be in that respect?
Um, I have to think more. I have to pull my heart out, I guess. I have to be more, I have to have more principles and integrity in regards to this myself, like, because I'm letting my heart,
Okay.
and that's my baby. So I guess I need to be, I'm talking about principles and integrity, but I need to have those as well, because I'm not being principled at all when I don't follow through with what I say I'm going to do.
Okay.
So,
So you're no longer, so what I'm hearing is you're no longer going to be a pushover. You're no longer going to
yeah,
be the enabler.
yeah,
That's who you are no longer going to be in this situation, in this moment.
yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there telling him, we're, his principles and him not doing what he says he's going to do, but what am I showing him?
Right.
The same behavior,
Right.
but just differently.
Yeah,
So,
totally. And
yeah.
it's so easy to get stuck in that trap as parents, right? Because
Hmm.
we really do want the best for our children. We want to give them chance after chance
Uh,
because we have grace and mercy and forgiveness, which we want shown upon us as well. However, there gets to a certain point where you can no longer do that. So I commend you. I know it's difficult, but
oh,
you just have to do that, right?
yeah.
So for me, I haven't answered that question, but what's come up recently with some of the stuff that I'm dealing with in a past relationship is I used to have to walk on eggshells because I had to manage
Mhm.
the other person's feelings. And that is a shitty place to be in, is where I can't express what I need to and speak my truth because you're going to freak out and get defensive and have no accountability. So
Mm.
I no longer am walking on eggshells. I am now speaking my unfiltered truth. And I sent an email to this person the other day, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, you seem really angry." I'm like, "Well, that is your perception, which means that is your issue to deal with because I'm not angry. I'm just speaking my unfiltered truth, which I wasn't able to speak with you about in our previous relationship because I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells because anytime I said something, it was this dance that I had to go into to make sure I had to manage your feelings as an adult, your
Mhm.
feelings I had to manage, right? And so now I'm speaking my unfiltered truth, which is weird that you think I'm angry, which goes to my point exactly, right?
Mhm.
It goes to my point exactly. You think I'm angry by speaking my truth, which is why I wasn't able to speak my truth all these years for like almost a decade, right?
Wow.
And I'm no longer willing to be that person. I'm no longer willing to filter my truth because you can't handle it. I'm no
Yeah.
longer willing to filter my truth because you are so defensive and you take no accountability, right? And so
Mhm.
I'm no longer willing to be that person. So it was so interesting when I got that response to my email and I was like, huh, exactly my point is you think I'm angry, and because you think I'm angry in my previous life, I would have handled it completely differently by trying to soften all the edges and not speak my truth. And now I speak my truth, and you think I'm angry. Hmm. Self-fulfilling, right?
Mhm.
So it's really interesting on who you know, like you choose to no longer be for yourself, for other people, and how that shows up in your life, right? Because I was that person where I had to do this dance for a decade of, oh my gosh, what if I say this? Will I get what I want? What if I say that? Will they be angry? Like that's not fair to me. That's and truly it's not fair to them because it
Mhm.
created a relationship that was dishonest for both of us,
Yep. 100%.
right?
Yeah. And if we're honest with ourselves, I mean, to have that of an intimate relationship and have that's huge. But if we look at ourselves, I mean, are we doing that with other people in our lives, like friends, family
Right?
members, jobs? I mean, not that you got to go out and just like have the truth serum and just tell everybody what's up, but it's like you
Right.
can be compassionately truthful
100%.
and be principled and say things, rather than like, I don't want to say this, or, oh, what's going to happen? Because, you talk about energy, no matter what, that stores in you, it's in there, and it's going to
Right.
come out one way or the other.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is it's going to come out either in the proper healthy way that maybe if you actually speak your truth, you can work through it and see if there's a resolution, or it's going to come out in a passive aggressive way, which
Mhm.
is what happened in relation with me. Is I wouldn't speak my truth, and that person was passive aggressive with me because I wasn't actually being honest and standing in my truth and standing in my masculinity, right? And so I
Mhm.
got to experience that in the lies of omission by not actually speaking my truth versus lies of commission where I'm just lying, right? Because
Yeah.
lies of omission actually do more damage than lies of commission, because lies of omission are so insidious and so like hidden and so covert, right?
Mhm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, like hiding that stuff. I mean, like it having to come out in one way or the other, passive aggressiveness, you know, just irritable or drinking, doing something
Right,
else. I mean,
sedation. Right,
you have
sedation,
to, yeah,
addiction. Yeah,
you have binge watching. I mean, that's in there, and that's what I've learned. You can't just
yeah,
will it out of you. I
right,
mean, we are energy, and that energy gets in there, and you have to get it out somehow.
that's right.
And maybe you are being truthful, but then there's still the emotion there, and you got to get it out some one way or the other. Otherwise, it's going to come out in a way that is not beneficial at all.
Right, and it's harmful for both parties, right? And
Uh-huh.
so when I think you're in a healthy relationship, people take accountability for their own actions and can come to the table and be like, you know what, I was wrong, and I take accountability for my portion of this. I'm not going to take accountability for your portion, but I will take accountability for mine. And from there, we can then
Hmm.
have a civil conversation to figure out how we move on from here and what the best path forward is.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, and you can say, yeah, taking accountability, but also, I've conditioned. We'll use my son. I've conditioned him to behave this way. Also, he makes his own
Right,
choices, but by me enabling him and giving him I'm conditioning him to, well, why that this is what you do. So
right,
that's my accountability. I need to change and not be a pushover, but also realize and accept my accountability that I've conditioned him to respond that way,
right.
and that's
Yeah,
tough
no,
too. But
that's 100% true. Mary is on with
I'm
her
Mary.
lovely dog Paris. Mary, do you have any comments or questions or thoughts on the matter? But ultimately, we're just talking about, you don't have to be someone that you no longer want to be or need to be in a relationship or in your life. If it's with your children, your partner, your colleagues, your church friends, whatever it is like, who do you no longer have to be? Who are you unwilling to be any longer to just serve the people that are around you without actually serving yourself, which goes into so many other things like abandoning your own needs, which creates all sorts of other issues, right? Great
I
topic. Yes. Go ahead,
well,
Jordan.
I just had a thought, like, who are we going to be, like, and we're in, focusing on everybody else, which, like, how are we going to show up? But, it all starts with us. And,
Right.
what do I say to myself every day? What do I do for myself every day? Who am I going to be for me, right? So that I can be this other person, like let's say in a relationship or whatever. I mean, sure, I can, like, you cannot be a, pushover or soft, but also it's like, how are you going to change and who are you going to be for you? Like, start
Right.
owning, doing the work on you and showing up differently for yourself, which is
Right.
ultimately going to, help. So I think that's a huge one, is who we're going to be for us, being honest with
Right. And I
ourselves.
and I think by eliminating who you no longer are going to be for other people, you start honoring yourself because you don't have to pretend anymore for the people
Yeah.
around you. Yeah.
Like, yep. And deciding, what, this is intolerable. And I'm going to put boundaries up. This is what, you know what I mean? For me,
Right.
for you. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
totally get
And
that.
so, yeah, Mary says the question I ask myself is, what am I no longer available for? Right. Like, I'm
Mm.
no longer available for people to use me in a certain way or expect me to do this or that or the other on short notice or whatever it might be, like hopping on a Facebook Live with no notice, you know? I always text Jordan. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna hop on a Facebook Live. You want to join me? She's like, I can't, or give me 2
Oh,
minutes.
whatever. I'm
But
always on, except I lost my phone yesterday. But
yeah. But so
um,
yeah, I think it's a great topic of figuring out what no longer serves you, what you're no longer available for, what you're no longer willing to do that doesn't actually serve you or serve the people around you. I think that's the thing is a lot of people believe it's selfish to stop doing things that they might need. How do we know that? Have you asked them? Does it actually serve them to behave in a way that actually enables them
yeah,
to bad behavior? Like, does it? Probably not, right?
yeah. I mean, again, we can be compassionately truthful. We can love everybody. Like I love my son more than anything, right? My two sons. But, at some point, I have to love him enough to be honest with him
Right.
and put up some boundaries,
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not doing him any favors. I'm not, I'm
Right.
being dishonest. So it's
Yeah.
huge.
So my buddy Troy, let's I'll talk about this and then we'll wrap it up because it's going on I think 20 minutes. But my buddy Troy, he says to me, Taylor, I love you enough to tell you the truth, and then he tells me the truth,
Oh, I
right?
like that. Yep.
Because a lot of times we, especially right now in the society we live in, it's like, oh, I don't want to tell them the truth; it might hurt their feelings. They need to hear the truth. If it hurts their feelings or not, like again, you can say it in a very compassionate way, but if you're hiding the truth from them because you are trying to manage their feelings, that is a terrible position for you, and it's even a worse position for them. So, last thoughts?
Yeah, you can't hold on to like have any expectations of how somebody's going to respond because ultimately that is out of your control. And
Right.
and we know when if somebody says something to me and I react, well, why am I reacting? Because it hit a trigger in me, which it's my issue. I mean,
Right.
so and that's the thing you got to let go. So as long as being compassionately truthful and saying things, and if they take it a certain way, it's like, that's there's nothing you can do about it. You know.
Exactly it. So, my friends, I ask you, who are you no longer willing to be? What are you no longer available for? Right? And be truthful to others and be truthful to yourself because that serves others. Jordan, last words?
I think you hit the nail on the head. But you guys, it's a game changer. I mean, seriously, we get really scared or worked up, and it's like we create so much stress that doesn't need to be. And when you just kind of let go and just show up for yourself and for other people the way that you should, it, it it's not easy. Like I said, I'm doing it right now,
Right,
but you know what? Like, how am I going to get change? How are things going to get better?
right. And sometimes you just have to do the hard
Yep.
things. Simple as that.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for joining me, Jordan.
Yep.
Mary, hope you're
Bye.
doing
Bye,
well.
Mary.
Bye.